Hey guys, it's Jacoya of Jacoya Gems. Thank you for once again coming back to view my channel. Now, thank you for coming back if you have returned. If you are a returner and you have not subscribed, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and hit the subscription button. Also, if you are new here, thank you for coming to my channel. And I really hope that you find something in this video that can educate you. I have a lot of different topics that I cover. I have some spoken word, mental health, food health, some Hebrew nuggets because I am an Israelite. So when I speak, I'm speaking from a biblical and West African standpoint, a holistic standpoint. With that being said, I also love mental health. I will be pursuing my degree in psychology this fall. So I love to have holistic conversations that are unbiased. I take in the male opinion from having conversations with men, not by assuming how they feel, and also the female dynamic by having conversations with women. So, with that being said, today I want to have a conversation that I do not believe is talked about enough in the Black community. And this is a very layered conversation that I look forward to speaking about publicly with men and with women. There's a lot of ignorance when it comes to sexual coercion as well as sexual regret in the Black community. Now, sexual coercion is when someone feels persuaded based on the position of someone in their life. It could be a pastor, a boss, an elder in a family, someone of authority in a friend dynamic, someone that can hold something above them, a landlord. So anyone that's in a place of authority or an influence um, can sexually coerce you by using their authority to do so. And this is why it's believed that a lot of women sleep their way to the top. A lot of times, this isn't something that's done willingly. You do have some women that's just willing to do whatever to get to the top. That's rooted in something also that won't be addressed on this video. However, there are times when women are placed in positions with men of power, and sometimes women of power too. Um, and it's a suggestion. You understand what I'm saying? It's nothing that's forceful, physical, or even met with the ultimatum. A lot of times it can be an undertone or an overtone. Sexual coercion can happen between friends. When maybe one person has an attraction that the other person may have, but may not be ready to go that far, or maybe they've been flirting and hitting around, and one person is more aggressive than the other person. The other person tries to establish a boundary by like, no, I'm good. They may move a few times, but then the other person persuades them into having sex. This is also a form of sexual coercion. There are some times when it takes a lot for that person, excuse me, y'all, where it even takes a lot for that person to say no the first time. And sometimes people literally can hear the no in their head, but cannot spit it out. Sexual coercion can also happen in relationships when women don't want to have sex sometime. And they men are like, well, if you don't do it, I'm gonna go do X, Y, and Z. And so now she didn't have some sex that she doesn't regret because she loves you, but you coerce her into it. Women, we're guilty of it too. Calling men gay because they don't want to sleep with you, or because they're tired, or sometimes they be mad at us and be over us and don't want to do anything, but you push him until he does, and you sexually coerce someone that you love. There are also forms of sexual coercion when men will literally, and some women, people in general, will get butt naked while somebody is fully clothed. And this is something that you did not invite to the dynamic. I can only speak from a woman's standpoint. This can be scary if this happens to a woman. It's easy to say, oh, I would fight, I would scream, I would leave. I'd be like, oh no, I'm not on that. But you have to also realize that some women have been raped before. We don't know if you about to do that, regardless of who you are and how safe you may be, even if we slept with you before. We don't know what you're about to do. So some women will just rather have sex than to even create a dynamic, because in her head she's thinking, girl, you should have known better than coming here. But then she like, but this supposed to be my homie, or I wasn't really on that. It's a tug of war. And so she takes responsibility. She doesn't scream rape. She may not even start treating you different, or maybe she may address it with you, or build up some type of boundaries with you, or just disappear overall. Whichever way that it is that she handles it, she takes accountability for it, but she's not realizing fully what took place, or maybe she does realize it fully. And some men don't even know that that's sexual coercion. They just think that, oh, we here, I got you liquor and I got you weed, or we went out to eat. Like, the dynamic and the gap on sex between black men and black women is so at the opposite ends of the scale. There are also times when people have regret sex. Regret sex is when you know you're really not attracted to somebody like that. You're not feeling them like that. Or you thought they were, but their personality turned you off. Or in the moment you were, but maybe you were too drunk or too horny, and then you got that post nut clarity, which to me is different than regret sex. I'm sorry, I should have said ejaculation. Oh my goodness, that's not ladylike. When you have post ejaculation clarity, that's something different to me, because like you could just think you googly eyed head over heels for that person, and you realize, nah, it was just the sex. Regret sex can even happen in the middle of sex, when you're like, you know what, nah, I can't do this. And because some people miss social cues, some people are not purposely predatory. They don't know like that you're clamming up or that you're being nervous, because some people are naturally nervous before intercourse. Some people will notice that you're nervous and that you shut off, but because you haven't said no, they gonna still do whatever it is that they want to do. Then you find some people who will see that maybe at first you were into it and then you weren't, and they will stop because they don't want to come off predatory. They don't want to make you do something that you don't want to do. And they're cognitive enough to know that if this is something that you decide you want to do, you'll double back. A lot of black women that I have talked to personally, a lot of us have shared with each other that there have been handful of times, and it's because that either sexual coercion or regret sex has happened. And I know some people are like, well, how can it be a number of times? You have to remember that a lot of things are learned behavior, and that some women do not hold against a man what happened in another dynamic. And some of us still easily fall into cycles throughout life, period. This is not just mutually exclusive to sexual coercion and or regret. So some women had also, when you being sexually coerced, it could be in the wildest situations. Because some women really do be thinking, like, this is my homie. I ain't flirted with him. I don't, or have told a guy, like, I'm not on that. And he pretend like it's okay. But then you get a few drinks. It's just a lot of situations that happen. And so this is why we need to know as women, if you do not want to have sex with a man, even if he says that he's not looking for sex, just don't be alone with him. Don't. Drive your own car to the date. Have enough money on you to pick up your own tab. Fly. I'm not gonna ever tell you to fly yourself out. I think that I'm not ever gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you have him send the money and you book your own trip under your own name. You have your own confirmation details, but get your own hotel room. Don't even sleep in his house and in his vicinity, because you do not want to put yourself in a predicament where a man is weak. Men are vulnerable. A lot of men are lust driven. We don't know how it feels to have all of that blood rushing to their favorite vein. That's a rap lyric. We don't know how any of that feels. We know how we feel when we up there. And so we just need to teach our sons and our daughters about this topic, learn more about this topic ourselves. Because today, when I saw in the comments, when a woman said that she had sex before and she regretted it, a lot of the comments were like, "Oh, you playing?" Actually, one of the guys said to me, "Here go this victim stuff now," and I was like, "No," because my comment said sexual coercion question mark, because she said that she did not know what to call it, so I didn't know if it was regret sex or sexual coercion. And there was only one man in the comments who began to talk about regret sex and the lack of communication. This was a conversation that's much needed to be had. Are you a man or a woman that's been sexually coerced before? Do you realize after watching this video that you sexually coerced someone? Can we now see how this plays a contributing factor to the dynamic of some women having high body counts as well as some men? Because men have cult bodies too that they regret, and men have been sexually coerced as well. So hopefully this opens up some type of healing holistically for the black man and a black woman to realize that everybody isn't working with the same deck of cards. Some people's no were taken away from them as children. And every time they said no, it was met by violence. So now they don't know how to say no, and they'll rather self implode than to explode, because they can heal themselves. They can control how somebody else is going to react. So let's be more thoughtful to one another, be kinder to one another, and realize that everybody's not being predatory purposely. And some of us are just ignorant and have no idea to what's going on. With that being said, this is Jacolia of Jacolia Gems. Thank you for once again coming back to my channel. Do me a favor, subscribe, like, comment down below, share this to your social media platforms. Have your sons and your daughters that's in high school, college, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, whoever, watch this video so that we can be safer together. Because when a pocket wants to be tapped, a pocket will let you know. When a drum wants to get to beating, it'll pick up its stick. And we all just need to stay in the pocket and in the snare and in the bass that has openly invited us to a West African festivity. With that being said, I'll talk to y'all soon. So Jacolia of Jacolia Gems, signing out.